And now, I would like to welcome Mr. James Lואו. He is the Vice President of SCS Engineers, United States of America. He is also an ISWA board member, and he is the chair of the working group on landfill and the task force of closing dump sites. James will talk about, נגיד בעברית, ג'יימס ידבר על התועלות האקלימיות כתוצאה מסגירת מזבלות ומטמנות ומעבר לחלופות מתקדמות יותר, ויציג גם את מקרה הבוחן פה של אתר חירייה, מה קרה פה ב-20 השנים האחרונות. בבקשה, ג'יימס.
I guess almost coffee break time, so I will do my presentation. Okay. I'll do my presentation, try to follow up with the timers here. My topic is going to be on climate benefits of dump site closure, and so it's, I don't think it's going to be very technical, but I try to present a vision or ideas and also present the position of the ISWA working group on landfill as well as the task force on closing dump sites. Okay, quickly the outlines. My presentation mainly is going to be on the task force on closing dump site, and then I'll present several case studies to illustrate the purpose of moving from dump sites to sanitary landfill as a way of realizing the climate benefits. And also, I will try to encourage everybody here to how to get engaged with this ISWA global initiative. I think it is a very important one, as Carlos earlier mentioned about the time is up. Everybody got to do something, and it is not just our problem here in Israel, but it's global. Everybody need to do their part. It's because there's only one planet, and we all have to do our share. No moving. Oh. Okay, you're helping, okay. So open dump site, as the picture illustrates, this is a typical open dump site. And I don't think you can see this in Israel, maybe. But a lot of developing countries, this is a typical site that you see. Price down? Strong, oh, strong, okay. So what is the open dump site? And I think most people know what it is, but this slide just to try to illustrate. The pictures, speak 1,000 words. So there's basically waste is completely unmanaged, and the truck will dump, and then, those one maybe will push, and then there will be these informal recyclers on site, try to pull whatever they can pull, and then the animal is also on site that try to feed on the trash. And the list there is basically say, dump site is basically there's no liner system at the bottom. And so you cannot prevent leachate from seeping through the groundwater or the ground below it. And landfill fire is very common. And also sometimes you see slope failures. And I'll go further into it, some of the history. So it is, dump site is pose a lot of health and safety hazard to the people living around it. So this picture basically illustrates on the, I guess on your right, sanitary landfill always appears to be very organized, systematic, engineered structure. You see the benches, you see the, how they control the stormwater from coming down from the top of the landfill down to the bottom, and then go to the stormwater management system. But on the left here, this is a dump site looks, and this dump site is in India. It's about 70 meters tall, and it's very dangerous. As you can see later on, I have a picture to show that there's a slide happening there. So what is the issue with the open dump site? As I said earlier, that it impacts the soil, the ground, and the waters, and you get contaminated, right? Because you don't apply daily cover on the waste. So anything in the waste can basically follow the liquids and contaminate anything on its path. And you have a situation that a landfill fire and sometimes could be set on purpose to burn the waste. And so you have black carbons, and air pollution issue is very serious in some of the sites. So this is very new picture. This is just a couple of weeks ago in India. This is the same landfill that I was mentioned about earlier, and it caught on fire. And it's a very big fires. And as you can see, it's on the news, CNN, and all the major newspaper, news media is basically reporting it. Another thing is the impact of the open dump site. It obviously impact the public health, people living around the landfills. And as you can see in the picture here, this is a message from ISWA. I think it's produced in 2018. No sound? So basically, we are about over 50,000 dump sites in the world. And I think that number will go up higher because with population growth, and also, as you can see, there are over 2 million people working on dump sites. So it is a very, Carlos mentioned about human rights, right? You know, and this is a similar message that we try to deliver, that, you know, dump site is something that we totally can manage. And if we manage it properly, a lot of those problems we will not need to face. So dump site is about the people and about us. We as a waste professional, everybody had to do and make a real good effort in taking care of the situation in your own location. And I think we have many waste professionals in the audience here. Nimrod, some of your site is managed fantastically. I visited yesterday, and I was very impressed of what you're doing there. I think some of the technology are really, you try to implement that is also in many other countries that is done successfully. So I really appreciate what you do here. This is a map showing the 50 largest dump sites that under ISWA publication. And at the time that 2014 or 15, we did a global mapping of the, try to find out where are the largest dump sites. And these are the locations where people respond to the surveys. And obviously, there is a huge data gap. Some countries did not respond, so we're not able to identify where they are. But otherwise, as you see, mostly focused in Latin America, Africa, in South Asia, and Southeast Asia, because those are the people who respond to our surveys. So we were able to show it here. And the only, out of the 50 largest dump sites, the only one that actually closed is the one in Brazil. And it was done in a very, all I have to say here is that landfill was able to close due to political will. because of the governor of the province saw this map and he didn't like it. He said, I'm going to close that dump site and open a new sanitary landfill. And all done within 1 or 2 years, right, Carlos? This is a success story I try to share here. And, you know, dump site is an ugly thing, but if we put our mind into it, we can remediate and make it go away. Now, of course, we had to deal with population growth and population related to waste generations. And the chart here basically said that if we have 1% population growth by 2050, you know, we're going to have over 10 billion metric tons of waste compared to 2022. We have about almost 8 billion tons. So it is a big issue. And the biggest growth area is in Latin America and Africa, as well as in Asia, as you can imagine, because those are where all the population, the largest population increases reported. And in terms of climate change, if we do nothing today, the contribution to greenhouse gas emission is around 10% by 2025. Now, how easy it is to open the dump site. As you can see in the picture here, you can almost generate any dump site uncontrolled. Just build a road and then start bringing waste and push it from either side of the road. And over time, the dump site is going to grow and then turn into a big dump site like we saw in the picture earlier. So this is totally no management, no planning, zero. And you're going to end up with disaster another 20 years later. And as you know, population growth, they're all going to be, it may be located in somewhere nobody lives, but 20 years later, the population will grow into it. And then you have to deal with the real problems with the people, you know, and the health as well. So I like to show this picture because sometimes going back to history, you see some of the disasters and why that happens and can we prevent it? And totally, yes, we can prevent it. And the picture on the upper top here, it is a landfill in the Philippines. And as you can see there on the top line there, over 200 people killed, buried under the waste because the landfill collapsed and the people living at the foothill of the dump site, it basically buried them when it come down. So as you can see, dump site you can totally prevent those people get killed by just moving them maybe 100 meters away from the foothill of the dump site. And then even if the slope fails, it will not move into where they live. But you know, it's a common knowledge that why people live so close to the dump site, because those are informal waste pickers. They go to the top of the landfill to pick their recyclable material, and the closer they live, the easier they can go up to the top of the landfill when the landfill open, the trash come in, you know. So it's just a matter of convenience for them. But then you never know that there's a huge hazard that the slope can fail and kill people. And the bottom one is the same landfill in India. I visited that location, and one time it failed, and it basically killed 2 people, the motorists passing by, and then when that thing come down, and then push them into the canal and basically drown them. And so it happens, you know. So as you can see the list there, it's very, it's totally can avoid. And this one is in China. As you can see, it basically, when the slope fails, it covers about 38 hectares of area, about 10 meters thick of waste, just cover over the entire industrial park. And about 90-some people was buried with the building. And, so anyway, I gotta move on to here now. I don't know what happened, but it's on automatic. of time. Okay, ISWA task force, we obviously try to initiate a global movement, try to get a lot of people involved in this process. And if you feel today, if you hear the calling, want to get involved, you can talk to Riva and, the national member of ISWA and try to get involved and do something that you are passionate about. But we also have a lot of publication and that you can go to the website and download. And the 2016, we released a publication called the Roadmap for Closing Waste Dump Site. And they have a lot of technical information in there, how to close a dump site. And these two are the most recent ones that dealing with the climate change benefit. I can't talk faster than this thing can move. But anyway, I think this information is available to the attendees here. And you can try to read through my slides and then get information. And you can always talk to me after the meeting. But anyway, I think I'm repeating here now. With all our knowledge about how to manage landfill, operate landfills, we can certainly help other people to do the same thing. And then I think then we can totally remove the dump site from the as part of the waste management. So the two case studies I'm going to present is basically in these two reports. And I may not go into much detail because of time. And you can read about it. One is Haraya's right in front of us. And, oh, that way. OK. So I have a story to tell about Haraya because 20 years ago, I was involved with the engineering evaluation of closing Haraya. And not knowing at that time, I wanted to come 20 years ago. But at that time, I think we have another senior engineer. He come here a lot, dealing with the design part of it. But I was in the background doing a lot of modeling. I want to make sure that the slope is safe and not fail. So we want to make sure that we have a fatal safety of 1.5. So I do a lot of modeling 20 years ago. And so I'm very happy to be able to visit the site today or tomorrow, and and get a sense of where everything is at. So this is a case study, few slides to illustrate the climate benefits and I think you guys are already 20 years ahead of everybody from this case study. Okay. This is before closure, and I don't really have. Oh. This thing is not cooperating. So we were able to get all the waste data that input into the model. The model we use is called suite models. And the data that we were able to input into the model and then come up with some graph, basically illustrate the climate benefit of closing dump site and then moving into sanitary landfill. Oh, that's a. This is Danny, yes. He's very instrumental in moving. I think in this area, in this region, he has a good vision back 20 years ago. And I think the waste management today, it definitely benefit from that program and people that is committed to make the waste management in this region a better place to live. Now, as you can see, the graph basically says everything. I'm not going to go through the number because I cannot read it myself. But as you can see, the red line basically says, do nothing. The gas emission is going to continue increasing because dump site always generate methane. And the first step the project did was, okay, remediate by installing gas collection system, and then you destroy the methane. And by doing that, right, you bring down the total emission to the yellow line, and then if you also increase the recycling, composting, and RDF plant, you can further bring down the curve down to the green line. So you can see the picture here is that in terms of climate benefit, you definitely can do something about it. And So,
this is there. That's the lady.
Oh, hi. I got to see a lot of people today, so I'm going to go back and tell Bob Eisenberg that I meet people that he knows. Yes, definitely, I will. And so to conclude on this case study is that the greenhouse gas emissions from the dump site or even the landfill, I mean, we can totally control it to then control the total methane gas emission. And at the same time, you can use the gas for other benefits, you know, power, electricity, and all that. But I think there's a very clear step. Now, this second site is about, time running out. So skip. Okay, real quick. This is a project we did in Lebanon, which is just north of you guys. And now, by the way, that program to estimate gas emission, you can download it from EPA website. And it's a very user-friendly program, and it's free. You know, you can, if you have the input data, you can play with it. So, okay. Similarly, we got a lot of good data from the Ministry of State of Administrative Reform. We call OMSA, and they provide us all the records that they have, and then we're able to condense down to input data into the model. And we did 5 scenarios there. As you can see, a lot to do with waste diversion. The fourth one is basically they diverse 40% of the waste, and the last one is 52% of the waste from the landfill. Okay, and so this is a similar graph, as you can see. The yellow line basically do nothing scenario, and then when you do something, all the graphs come down, basically indicating that total gas emission is reduced, depending on what you're doing. And 2025, the third scenario is 40% reduction, diversion of waste, and then it actually reduced gas emission by 30%, and then it go down to 61% year 2050. So it's pretty significant how you can realize, you know, if you diverse waste from the landfill operation. And okay, so this is a similar conclusion. You know, climate benefit definitely is there, you know. And the reason why we generate this report is that because some countries, they need report to go to someone like World Bank to get funding to help them close their dump site or build their sanitary landfill. So the next step, we're going to continue partner with people and also try to promote transition from dump site to sanitary landfill or other waste treatment system, because you cannot jump from dump site. You had to have a transition time. It may take 1 or 2 years to transition into a better way of managing the waste, the waste stream, because first of all, you had to educate people, you had to train your people, operators, and so it takes time to transition into a new system. So it just takes a lot of patience doing it. ISWA has a winter school that we have 2 weeks of training in Texas, US, and this year is in June. Anybody interested can go to the website to look it up, and it's a very good program. We trained quite a few people the last 5 years, and I think Eddie somewhere? Adi. She's one of the participants, and she can tell you the story. Last 2 things I want the ISWA can do is we still planning on doing the help desk. Try to create a section that people can go there and see what we do, and you know, maybe learn from other people. And global dump site observatory is sort of my dream. I'm hoping to create a database so that, you know, there'll be more than 50 dump sites out there, maybe 5,000, and then the largest one, and then maybe over the course of 5-10 years, we can help to close all those dump sites. Okay, I think that is Sorry. It is a long-term initiative, and we need people like you guys need to have visions to help with the promote the closing the dump site. Partnership is very important, and I now begin to believe that we need to do one project at a time. We don't dream about doing 30 at a time because, you know, sometimes it's not possible, but, you know, at least we can focus on one at a time. Okay, I think that is, closing remark is, closing dump site is all about protecting the environment and the people and the climate. And that's it. Come to Singapore in September. We have a World Congress in Singapore.